Vietnam is a Southeast Asian country known for its beaches, rivers, Buddhist pagodas and bustling cities. Hanoi, the capital, pays homage to the nation's iconic communist leader Ho Chi Minh, otherwise known as Uncle Ho, via a huge marble mausoleum. Ho Chi Minh City, formerly Saigon, has French colonial landmarks, plus Vietnamese war history museums and the Choo Choo tunnels that were used by the Viet Cong soldiers in the Vietnam War in the late 60s. With a population of almost 100 million, they are a kind and humble people who live a simple life based on family, food and culture. It borders with China in the north, Laos in the middle and Cambodia in the south of the country. With a population of almost 100 million, they are a kind and humble people who live a simple life based on family, food and culture. Vietnam extends for about 1,025 miles from north to south, and it's about 30 miles wide, east to west at its narrowest point. So let's take a look at my top 5 places to visit in Vietnam. Number 5, Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon. Ho Chi Minh City was our first destination upon arriving in Vietnam. Vibrating with energy, innovation and traffic, lots of traffic, Ho Chi Minh City, formerly known as Saigon, is the economic heart of Vietnam and the main hub of the southern region. We stayed at the Ao Lac Legend Hotel that's located in District 1. Now the best way to get from place to place, especially in the main cities, is by using either Grab or Gojek, either on scooter or by car. Now past the bustling streets, dizzying traffic, you'll uncover delicious street food, booming nightlife and historical landmarks that give this city its distinctive appeal. Now when you're in Ho Chi Minh City, make sure you visit the War Remnants Museum and you get a glimpse into the past of the Vietnam War. Make sure you take a wander down to Bui Vien Street for the cheap beer and the nightlife. Also, one of the main attractions to acquaint yourself with are the Notre Dame Cathedral, the city's central post office, the Saigon Opera House, and fantastic views from the Bitexco Financial Tower. On a more local level, make sure you check out the Ben Thanh Market and one of the many beautiful, gorgeous pagodas. They're well worth a visit. Number 4, Marble Mountain, Da Nang. The Marble Mountains is a cluster of 5 marble and limestone hills located 9 kilometers south of Da Nang City in Vietnam. The 5 mountains are named after the 5 elements: metal, earth, wood, fire and water. I'm not even going to try and attempt the Vietnamese names. Together, the mountains were a spiritual destination for both Vietnamese and Buddhists alike. So over the years, Buddhist followers have constructed the sanctuaries that you see in the temples today. Now back when the French colonized Vietnam, it was the French geologists who realized that the mountains were comprised of marble, and that's why they renamed it Marble Mountains. The French name stuck, and the rest, as they say, is history. Marble Mountains are complete with tours, shopping, and there's an easy access glass elevator to take you up the 43-meter ascent. It remains today an intriguing place to visit in central Vietnam with its stunning views and beautiful caves and sanctuaries. And I can tell you the views from the top and the actual caves are absolutely stunning. Number 3, My Son Sanctuary. The My Son Sanctuary is a cluster of abandoned and partially ruined Hindu temples in central Vietnam, constructed between the 4th and the 14th century by the kings of Champa, an Indianized kingdom of the Sham people. we took a private taxi from our hotel in Da Nang, and our driver picked us up again after about 3 hours. We found that this was probably the most affordable and productive way of doing it versus traveling with a group, because it allowed me to take more photographs and take more video and not be stuck to a timeline. I can honestly say this place was absolutely amazing. From entering the front entrance, we got a cart up to the main sanctuary area, and the buildings themselves, the colours, the peacefulness, everything about it was just absolutely amazing. I have to say this is definitely well worth a visit when you're in the region. Like I said, the buildings themselves, the old history that's there, all the way from the 4th century to the 14th century, is just absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, during the Vietnam War, a lot of bombs were dropped in that area, and there's really only a certain amount of the actual structures that are left, but definitely a beautiful place to visit. Number 2, Hanoi. Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam, is known for its centuries-old architecture and a rich culture with Southeast Asia, Chinese and French influences. In the heart of the city is the chaotic Old Quarter, where the narrow streets are roughly arranged by the different trades. When you first arrive in Hanoi, especially if it's your first time, it can be a little overwhelming. The narrow streets in the Old Quarter are small with no room on the sidewalks, even if any, but it makes for an amazing old-worldly feel. Bon Kim Lake, or Sword Lake, is probably the most popular thing to do in Hanoi. It's located between the Old Quarter and the French Quarter of Hanoi. Bon Kim Lake is a quiet oasis in the heart of the city. The main attraction of this lake is the Nok Sun Temple, the Temple of the Jade Mountain, which is located on an island right in the center of the lake. So a trip to Hanoi would not be complete without trying some Vietnamese egg coffee. Make sure you get the Banh Mi 25 to check out their amazing banh mis. And also food-wise, make sure you check out Shaka, specifically Shaka Lavang, fresh from the fishermen. Number 1, Ha Long Bay. It was a really tough decision between number 1 and number 2, but Ha Long Bay in the Gulf of Tonkin includes over 1,600 islands and islets, forming a spectacular seascape of limestone pillars. Most of the islands are uninhabitable and unaffected by human presence. The site's outstanding scenic beauty is complemented by its great biological interest. In 1994, the Ha Long Bay was designated a World Heritage Site. You can go on one of the many day or multi-night cruises around Ha Long Bay. Prices vary for each tour. I'd suggest to take a look on TripAdvisor and one that suits you. But to get the full experience, I suggest that you take a 2-day cruise. We traveled with Aero Cruises, which we found to be great value. Food was amazing and the activities were absolutely fantastic, but it went too quick. Make sure that you get a chance to swim in Ha Long Bay, do a bit of kayaking, and visit one of the many caves that are located in and around the bay. Absolutely stunning. And make sure you keep an eye out on the islets. You might see some monkeys. I have to say that Ha Long Bay is probably one of the most spectacular places that I have ever been and ever seen. It would definitely remind you of something out of Jurassic Park. It's definitely worth a visit, whether it's for a day trip or for a 2-day cruise, just to go and see these islands and these islets that there's thousands of them that just pop up out of the water. It really, really is a fantastic experience, and definitely my number one for Vietnam. Absolutely amazing. So make sure you go and do any of the top 5, and I hope you enjoy it. Vietnam is such an amazing country. Make sure you get a chance to visit it and make it part of your bucket list today.